Hello, Couch Co-opers, Couch Potatoes, and Couch Codependents. This is the Couch Co-op Show, the greatest video game show in the world. I'm here with just Jarrod tonight. It's possible someone else will join us, but I doubt it. I
also...
Yeah. And let's see, where am I at? And I want to remind you can find us on Faceballs, Instacock, and Teatbook, my new 3 favorite sayings, at Couch Co-op Shows. All one word, no hyphen. Let's get to the show. And we're recording on a different night tonight. Meant to record on Monday, but I got preoccupied with some other shit. And then I was like, we should record tonight if anyone can. So that's what's happening. How you doing, Jarrod?
Hey, I'm doing good. It's been a good day so far.
We're amongst the viruses and economic fallout of lack of toilet paper and I don't know, all the weird shit that's going on.
Yeah, luckily I don't have a TP issue.
Nor do I. Unless this goes on for more than a month, I should be fine.
All right. Congratulations.
Yeah. So a lot of things happened today. Well, no, one thing happened today. PlayStation finally announced all their specs for their new console. And I don't know, it kind of seemed like the same shit they already said in that Wired article. I don't know. It was like what did you think of it, Jarrod?
Obviously it was a setup where they had a lot of developers, probably.
Right.
Architecture. They even talked about, like, all this stuff we're talking about, you don't need to worry about it. It automatically does it. So just do your best. And
it did. It did sound like this was like probably the GDC talk, the Game Developer Conference talk they were gonna give, and then they just said it was just like, fuck it, we'll just give it to everybody. And I don't know, we probably didn't need to hear any of that stuff because it really isn't important to us, really. But
again, it really wasn't made for the masses. If it was a GDC talk, that wouldn't even come out for months anyway. So it's cool that we even got a little piece of that, really.
Right. I mean,
GDC is not live. People can't stream it. People aren't even supposed to release information or articles from GDC talk.
It's just kind of they just kind of stuff that they kind of report on, but basically we learned that it's a little less powerful than the Xbox, which we all kind of figured it was going to be. Has a couple of flops less. But some are saying that the blast processing that it does is stronger than the Xbox. So I don't know if that's true or not, but there's some people that are reporting that that's possibly the case. So
I'll just wait for the Digital Foundry to science the shit out of it, and
right.
I don't really care because power didn't really help Microsoft the first time around. They released the Xbox One X, and I don't know how many people actually cared.
Right. Then what else we learned? We learned obviously solid state drives. They're not going to have a proprietary one like the Xbox does. They will have specially certified ones that they will recommend, but it made it sound like you could still use another one and it just may not work as well. So we'll see what happens there.
Well, yeah, because the one that comes with the system is like built in.
Right.
Yeah, it works directly with all the components inside the system. So if you want the fastest, best experience, you'll install those games on the media hard drive that the system comes with.
Right, but that has an expansion bay like the Xbox One X. It just doesn't use like the weird how Xbox is making their own special little drive as opposed to off the shelf.
I'm really sure the price is going to be on that because I remember like, oh man, I have an Xbox 360, but it's not the wireless model, so I have to buy this wireless dongle that you can only use with Microsoft.
Right.
And it was expensive as hell. It was outrageous.
A lot of outlets are speculating that it's going to be around $250. So I mean that's kind of crazy.
Well, one of the downfalls of like the PlayStation Vita was you had to buy Sony's memory chip, and nobody else made it.
Right.
And those things were expensive as hell.
And I think that's why Sony doesn't want to do a proprietary thing like Xbox is doing. They want to just say, oh, this company's NVMe chip is certified by us. We recommend this version. It works the best with our system. I think they'd rather do that than, like you said, with the Vita, make a choice where it's just too expensive. But
yeah, so I'm down with that. Even Microsoft on their 360, they had memory expansions and stuff like that, and those memory plates ended up being pretty expensive until you could find them in like Goodwill. People would start donating to systems and finally find them for cheap. But
right, because you had to like buy their even though it was a regular hard drive, it was encased in that weird plastic shell. Yeah. And then the third thing they talked about was this kind of fascinating 3D audio, like going beyond Atmos. So not just being able to do Atmos, but doing a lot more. This was really kind of fascinating. I found really interesting. And I know you're a really big audio head, Jarrod. You like into the audio. So this should be pretty cool.
As much as I can. I definitely can't afford the top-of-the-line stuff. Like this 3D audio, if Sony releases a headset that supports that feature somehow, which I don't know how they'd be able to do binaural audio like that, but that sounds like some pretty fancy trickery around the ears.
Well, it's just yeah, it was just cool in the talk how they were talking about like how it didn't really dawn on them until like with the PSVR, how the PSVR has a separate audio processor, and they're like, well, we should do that for this console. We should give them more space to play and create instead of just giving them whatever's left over to run on the console like they have been doing for so long. So it's just whether developers use it or not, who knows, but that it has the power to like kind of hopefully do some crazy stuff is kind of cool.
What I really caught about the talk was when they were talking about the RAM, because of how fast the SSDs are going to be. They don't have to utilize as much of the RAM to hold, like what they were saying, the next 30 seconds of the game, that's most of the RAM in the PS4, whereas in the PS5 and probably Xbox, I don't know how much their RAM's going to use, but it's only like tracking the next seconds of gameplay.
Right.
So all the RAM is freed up to be utilized on more important things in the game.
Either way, whichever console you're going with, it just seems like we're going to get like no load times and then obviously great graphics, and it's a win-win. Obviously I'm not gonna buy an Xbox because I have a PC. Any Xbox games I'll just get Game Pass for a month or two and then cancel it, but it's those exclusives that still, regardless of what Sony's gonna do or not gonna do, I'm still probably gonna buy a PlayStation because those are the games I want to play.
Well, yeah, and I have so much money invested into the PlayStation ecosystem at this point. Like, there's absolutely no reason for me to jump ship now anyways. So, I mean, I started with the 360, and then I bought a PS3, and eventually I stopped playing my 360 and played more PlayStation 3 and bought a PS4 and just kind of left Xbox behind, mainly because most of my friends were also playing on PlayStations at that point, and it's just continuing that way. So I don't forecast that changing anytime soon. I have some friends that I know that I've never played games with, mainly because they've always ran Xbox or something like that. But the bulk of my friends are Sony platform holders.
And we're assuming that they're both still going to launch at the holiday 2020. Xbox has confirmed holiday 2020. Sony still hasn't come out and said anything. And we still don't have the price on either of them. But do you think that PlayStation will be the same price as the Xbox, or do you think it'll be coming a little bit cheaper?
I think it'll probably come in a little bit cheaper.
You want to guess?
I don't think they'll be able to hit that $400 price mark again.
You don't think so?
No. Well, and I mean, a lot of companies have even talked all the tariffs and stuff like that, like in China, all
Right.
the tariffs for America have increased pricing on that. So just baseline, I don't think Sony will take that big of a hit to get it at the $400 mark, but I don't think it'll be too far off. I don't think they'll hit $500, but I think it'll be pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it hits 400. I think it'd be a really great, like, if they take the hit on the chin and like go for 400, but I think you're right. I think it'll probably be like 450 or something. Even that I think is a loss though. Even with this coronavirus thing going around, obviously production is going to be really small. Like the amount of consoles is going to be so constrained at launch. But we'll see. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It will be. I mean, I got PS4 on launch at Costco, so most of game fans don't line up at Costco. They line up at Best Buys and Walmarts and stuff like that. So
what happens in a world where we can't line up?
Oh no, yeah, right. I mean, if the line's too long because people are waiting in line for toilet paper, I don't know if anybody will get their system launch night.
Oh well, it's very exciting future. Ultimately, it's super cool. It's fun to see stuff like this still happening, even though the world is like kind of falling apart right now. But it's nice to see that Xbox had a weird thing happen today where it leaked for a moment that they were coming out Thanksgiving 2020, but I guess they walked that back and they just meant holiday 2020, and that was like a mispost or something. But yeah,
one thing I haven't seen anybody talking about on news media stuff is there's videos right now where people have actually gotten to hold and touch and plug in and play Xbox One Series X's.
right.
Not Xbox One, but Xbox Series X's. There's videos of them actually looking at them, testing them. I think Digital even has one, but nobody's even mentioned it. I just bumped into it on YouTube once.
I think they're NDA'd. I think they can't really talk about it, but yeah, I have seen some photos of people holding them. And I know Phil Spencer was talking about obviously he's playing it at home in his house. So I mean,
because they have they're showing off ray tracing in Minecraft.
Oh yeah, I heard about that too. I heard about that.
The up-res Gears of War 4 or 5. 5, right? That's
5.
The latest one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're showing off that kind of stuff. So there's videos out there of the Xbox Series X where Microsoft has actually here, look at this. They hold the giant beast of a box and plug it in and actually use it. So it's out there. Maybe not the boot screen or anything like that, but the actual software. Those two examples are out there on video. So it's kind of cool to see that it's actually going. We've only seen PlayStation 5 running hey, look how fast Spider-Man can load.
Yeah, we still don't even know what it looks like, really. We don't know.
We don't know anything about it.
Another thing, actually, if we stay on this for a second, do you care about backwards compatibility? The internet seems to only care about backwards compatibility, but personally, I don't really care. How do you feel?
It's not a huge thing. I mean, it'd be nice to play some of the games that I'm currently working on a new system, so I can trade in my old one,
right?
Kind of thing. Because I am not in a place these days where I can hold on to both systems at the same time. But as it says that over time, the library will expand, of course, which I'm hoping will lead to a lot of the digital purchases that I have, because my digital library is massive.
Right. No, that's exactly. I mean, I'm not. I'm gonna hold on to my PS4 for as long as it works. I'll probably hold on to it even when it doesn't work. But backwards compatibility isn't a do or die for me. It's just a nice plus. But really, I just want to see those new games. That's what you get a new console for. New games.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'm half and half on that. It's just very cool. I thought whatever, but PS4 came out, I'm like, hey, I want to play these games.
Right.
I've head first into Destiny and not look back, and that's what I did. I got rid of my PS3 shortly after. I don't remember if I sold it before or after I got it, but I didn't stick around.
I remember you had it for a little while, but I do remember you selling it because you were having a baby was coming.
Oh, actually, I sold. I had my Xbox 360 with a whole bunch of Rock Band stuff. I had all kinds of accessories. I'm like, here, just buy this for this small
Right.
one price and take it and get it off my hands so I can afford this. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, that's cool. Let's move on. So I want to get to what we've been playing, but before we go our different ways on what we've been playing, obviously I want to focus on one of the biggest releases of the past. What did it come out last week? I think it did. The Call of Duty Warzone. Jarrod and I played quite a bit one night, and that dropped, and that's been crazy successful. And unfortunately, man, it takes up. For a little free-to-play game that should only take up about 20 megabytes or 20 gigabytes, takes up like 100 gigabytes. That's probably its biggest downfall because I think they install the entire Modern Warfare game on your hard drive. But
it's definitely what not a think they do. They definitely install the whole thing. Like when you go and purchase the free-to-play game, it will download the 20 whatever gigabytes and say, okay, it's cool to play, but then it still has 80 gigs of stuff to download.
It's kind of ridiculous. There's got to be a better way, but...
Which one? On the PS4 architecture, don't you have to have, in that case, like 200 gigs free? You have to expand it all and then shrink it down back to package.
I think it depends. I think that's dependent on how they... No, because there's two different ways. I mean, I feel like... Some of the newer ways of installing, they don't require that. I know that Bethesda and the way they do shit is really backwards, and you do need that. But some of the newer games, you don't. They found ways to work around that. So, but anyway, who cares about that? We want to talk about the game, Jarrod. What did you think of this? You don't play a lot of Battle Royale, but we played, and we had a pretty good time. What did you think of it?
Out of all the Battle Royale games I've played, that's the one I played the longest because it felt very familiar and it was a lot of fun. The action was great, and I actually felt like I had a chance.
Right.
I actually won some of the firefights, and after you die, you get another chance to come back.
Actually, you get multiple times if your team can keep getting money.
Yeah. If you can get enough money and get to one of those stores, yeah, you can keep getting revived. So it's not just, Sam, you're dead, now sit here and wait until your teammates are dead too. You know, you have chances, you know, there's reasons to motivate your team to, oh, hey, there's money over there. You know, you can spectate what player is still around.
Right.
Yeah, so that it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed the just run-of-the-mill gameplay. I thought it was interesting. I didn't play with it, but you can create loadouts and stuff like that in the background, and you have access to them in very special drops that happen in the game map, and you can access those. So that's interesting. It'd be interesting to play with that eventually.
It's also interesting. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, as far as free-to-play games go, I mean, it's a really good-looking free-to-play game. A lot of the free-to-play games are more cartoony-ish or have a kind of an art style. This one is going... it just looks really good, and just what it does and how well it runs, actually, for... I don't know, really impressive on that first... How many did it get in its, first 48 hours? 6 million or something?
6 million in the first weekend, or something like that. First few days or first day, something like that. 6 million, but now its numbers are crazy. I don't even remember the last time I saw like 17 million. I don't know.
And it, I mean, I'm a mediocre to good first-person shooter. Jared's probably a little bit better, maybe. And we did pretty well. He and I teaming up. We got our best was 10th place. And it was a lot of fun. There's some really good kind of firefights and action, and probably the best kind of I don't know. There was just some really good moments. That type of gameplay really breeds kind of really fun moments at times.
Yeah, well, playing the other ones, I can never get any kills. Everybody's already 10 times better than me. It's something about jumping into a game early where I just feel like I'm better
Right.
than average. But I have a feeling if I try it again this week or this weekend, if we play, that I'm just going to get crushed. But we'll see.
I don't know. I don't. Maybe not. I feel like there's always games where in other battle royales you kind of do shitty, but you do really well. I just feel like the game does a really good job of like not making you. I don't know. All the weapons seem decent enough that you can get a kill off of them. The armor system isn't overpowered that you're only shooting shields all the time, but it's easy enough that you can just kind of refill it, and it never seems cheap with the shields. Like Apex Legends always felt cheap with the shields. Like once you get that purple shields and everyone, you just like super overpowered to a degree and you're just shooting someone else's shields, it gets annoying. But this just seems really fair. Like you're on a even playing field.
I still don't know how I really feel about the shield system in any of the games because, like, sci-fi shooters, like, hey, cool, you got shields. This is just built into the DNA of the game.
Right.
Here, you knock electric shield down or however that crap works, and then pound down their health, and the health stays down. But I don't know, shields. I don't know. They're just weird. And I don't know.
You just want that one hit knock. You just want to get one knock. Anyway, it's a solid game. Probably play some more of it. It's a good time. If you haven't tried it, you should really. I mean, you probably already have. If you're listening to us, you probably have already tried it. But it's pretty good. I am still actually playing Fortnite though. So I mean.
Yeah, you and Ryan have been into that a lot. Every once in a while, I'm like, maybe I should. No, I don't want to join him. I'm gonna play something else.
It's addicting. I don't know why it's addicting.
It's on there. I just I see you guys playing like I'm gonna play.
Is that out of fear?
No, just, I don't know, something about the game. I know I don't have to build stuff, but just the concept of building stuff, I'm just like, I don't want to deal with that.
I never build. Never.
Yeah.
Ryan does. He's gotten good at it, but I don't deal with that shit. That's probably why I only ever come in like 5th most of the time.
Yeah.
But let's go with you, Jarrod. What else have you been playing this past week or so?
Well, we haven't really recorded since Final Fantasy VII demo came out, have we?
We haven't even talked about that. We could talk about that too.
Yeah, you played it too, right?
I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah, we don't have to go over it that much. I mean, everybody's talked about it. Everybody's probably played it by now, but well, I think that the last time we recorded, I just started it, or it came out that day, or some garbage like that. But
yeah,
it's great. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So
I did too.
I don't think I will buy it just because I don't want to wait for like 2 years for the next part to come out. Nobody knows when the next part's coming out.
Yeah, right. I feel like, man, I've never played Final Fantasy VII. We talked about that in the last podcast. The game's a shame. I said I would try this, and I played it, and I was actually really surprised. I'm really into it. I like the new. It's not turn-based. It's kind of turn-based, but the battle system is kind of action, kind of strategic. It's kind of fun. It's something new and different, so it's engaging to me. I kind of like the characters for the most part. They're kind of silly and goofy in a way, but in that Japanese way that I kind of like. And I was just kind of like, you know what? I would play this. If one of the guys bought it, I would definitely play this. I'm not going to buy it, like you said, because I don't know when the next one... It's like supposed to be like 3 chapters probably. Maybe. I'm like, I would buy it once it's all released, Yeah,
well, it's that funny, there's several pages to that problem, because if there's as much content in this chapter as they're saying, because they expanded upon it and you can explore a lot more,
right?
Will it be like, oh, now it's all out? Shit, that's a lot of game. I don't know if I want to buy it because it's too much game.
Right.
It was that the hurdle I'm going to bump into and it's all out? I don't know.
I mean, obviously,
see when this first one's done and out in reviews and everybody's talked about it.
But it's got to be at least, what, 40 hours. Like what was Final Fantasy 15? Like 40 hours? 50 hours?
Yeah, 40, 50 hours, something like that.
So you got to think that 7, the first chapter, is probably going to be close to that, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It could be really short because they had a different company working on it, and then they're like, these guys aren't working out. We're going to take over. Like, how quickly did they turn around the technology that was being used, or did they make something of their own? It's just going to be super short.
I will say this. I haven't started playing it yet, but I did reinstall it. I reinstalled Final Fantasy 15. So I am still gonna start marching through it because I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot again. Anyway.
Oh, good.
But anyway, what else have you been playing, Jarrod?
I bought and platinum to Donut County.
Donut County. Is that like tell me? What is this?
It's a game. Aaron talked about it a while back. He bought it on PlayStation as well, but
I think he got it on Switch, didn't he?
He bought it either way. I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty sure he got it on PS4. But he'll correct me someday. But a lot of people talked about it when it came out because it was really popular. It went on sale on PS4 for like $7 or $8 recently. And it's fun, but it's super short. That's one reason I wanted to wait until it was down under $10. But it has a really cool art style, and it's as somebody mentioned when I was talking about it, that it seems like the opposite of Katamari Dynasty because instead of building something up, you're actually taking things down this hole, and everything you consume in this hole expands the hole so you can eat bigger things. So it's very similar in that aspect and even the art style,
right.
But it's more of a fixed camera. It's not like a 3D game or anything like that with Katamari, but it has an interesting story. A raccoon builds an app. Raccoons move to town and they take over the donut shop, and the Raccoon King builds an app that people can order donuts for delivery. But what they don't tell in the app is that hole is the donut, and they absorb or take everything down underground.
How long?
They stow away around all the garbage. The trash panda.
How long is the game? Would you say?
A couple hours, 2-3 hours. It took me 1.25 playthroughs to platinum it, so it's an easy platinum, and it's a lot of fun. The story's fun, the writing's really fun. So it's worth playing. If you can find it for under $10, I'd totally recommend it.
I think on the new, again, there's another sale, the March mega sale. I think it's only $6 again, or $7.
Yeah, check it out. It's good.
Just collect them platinums.
Yeah. Did I mention last time? No, I didn't. We didn't talk about what we played. I decided to buy one of the Gianna Sisters games. There's the Twisted Dreams director's cut that's on PlayStation, because I've always heard of Gianna Sisters. I just didn't know anything about them, and supposedly back in the day they were like, they built them to look like Mario, play like Mario, and I heard the original one got pulled down.
I have no idea what those are.
I don't know exactly what the history of Gianna Sisters is, but I don't know. I'm not too keen on it, but it's there's a lot of stuff to collect. You can just anticipate. Like Mario has a lot of coins. Well, this one has a lot of different colored gems, and you can switch between light and dark world kind of a thing to collect different gems and make the world warp, and different things happen when you switch from light to dark. Like platforms will appear and disappear, and vines will turn into something else, and that kind of thing. So it's fun. It gets your mind going, and it looks nice. It's a updated version of what it once was. But if you can find it cheap, it's a fun platformer if you're really into platformers. It's not, I don't know, it's not really pulling me in too far.
Right.
But it's fine. Let's see. A long time ago, I bought a game on the Switch because it was on sale, and I watched the trailer, and it looked interesting. It's based on like a book, or like a child's storybook or something that came out a long time ago, called Storm Boy.
Okay.
And I bought that on Switch, and it's very short. It's not really even a game as far as I'm concerned. You can go through it in like 30 minutes or something like that. Just kind of walk along, and every once in a while you'll meet an animal or something like that. And there's a tiny little mini game. There's no win or loss. It's just like, here, figure it out. And a minute later you're done, and you keep walking along, and little story pieces from the pages of the book, I think, appear. So, I mean, you get to go through the story, and I don't know. You have to stop every time one of those dialogue sections happen, or it just disappears within a second. So you just got to stop and read it.
Right.
And then move on. I don't know. I didn't like it. It's a thing for fans of Stormboy, which I'd never heard of it, but the trailer looks neat.
How often are you buying these platformers for you, and also as something for you or daughter to play?
I do look at things to, like, I want to play stuff when my daughter's around, so I do look for cheap games like that so I can play it. I didn't even have her play it because it's mostly about reading.
Oh.
There's not much, so I didn't have her play that. Yeah,
you should tell us a little bit about the Journey thing. I mean, she's played Journey through twice, and she got you new trophies that you didn't have.
She has played through it 3 or 4 times. She is addicted to Journey.
That's crazy.
Like the first time she played through it, I helped her a little bit. The serpent, of course, scared her, so I had to do that part. But the second time through, she, from the very beginning, there was another player, which, most people have played Journey, but it's if you haven't, I would strongly recommend you play Journey.
Me too. It's one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah, you must. You will find something you will love in that game. And one of the cool parts is you can either just do this journey all alone. It's a great experience to do alone with the music. You get to figure out the different puzzles around. And if somebody else is playing at the exact same time you are, they'll pop into your world. And you don't know who they are. You have no idea. They just, when they talk to you with the circle button, their symbols pop up, and every time you bump into somebody else, the symbols are different. And same with you. Every time you play, those symbols are different as well. And you can play the whole game together. It's only a couple hours, maybe hour and a half, something like that.
But I have a question before we go into this. So, how much of this did you watch with her when she was playing with somebody? That playthrough. The whole thing?
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah.
So how did that person seem like they were really well, like they knew how to play the game too, or did they also seem like they were on the same level of gameplay? Like that person either had a lot of patience or they were just another little kid. You know what I mean?
The person is, I'll continue this story. The person seems to be about the same skill, because Evelyn's really good at games now. I mean, come on, she beat Mario Odyssey by herself.
Okay.
Journey was pretty easy for her, so that was no problem. But every once in a while, she stopped because she had to do something else, or even the person that she was with, he stopped every once in a while. She was concerned, like, is he coming? Come on, I hope he's okay, or that kind of stuff. And after she beat the game, during that second playthrough, she found like one random glyph. That's like the murals on the walls that you didn't get. Yeah, I didn't realize I was missing one, and a trophy popped. I'm like, I swear I had 100% trophies on this, and I looked and I didn't. So I got that trophy, and then she played through the whole game with somebody. I thought I did that, but that was probably on PS3.
Yeah, probably.
Then I got that trophy because she played through the whole game with this character, and at the end, we saw the name, and it's like, she's a huge fan of dragons. It's like the green dragon something, and she's like, oh, dragon, he likes dragons too. And, eventually, like that same day, the guy sent me a friend request.
That's cool.
And level 12. It was probably his first or second time through Journey, and he sent me a message like, was it you that I played Journey with? I'm like, yeah. I actually played with my 6-year-old daughter, and she had the time of her life. Thank you for 6 years. He's like, yeah, I had a lot of fun. No problem.
That's cool.
That was, because at the very end, you can see the symbol that identifies their character, and then it puts their PSN ID next to it.
Right.
Yeah, so that was a really cool experience. So Journey is so good. just buy it. It was free once, I think. No, I don't know, but
Yeah, it was free. They did give it away for free, and I think right now, actually in that March mega sale, you can get the collector's edition for pretty cheap. But yeah, it's so worth playing. The first time
with the soundtrack.
The first time is like, it's kind of crazy emotional. Just kind of, because I remember finishing that game with somebody else, and just like, you're both gonna die or whatever. I don't want to spoil it anyway. I have a question though. I never got it. Did you get the white robe?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a super cool guy. I never got the white robe.
You have to collect all the different runes to get the scarf all the way up.
Right. I never got that.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you do that, you get white cloaked one where you can fly as long as your scarf is, which, it's full.
Right.
But as soon as you land on the ground, it recharges.
It's cool.
You don't have to attract the other cloth pieces to recharge it. So it's really fun.
Very awesome. I just thought that was cool, and that she's been playing it so much is ridiculous. That's cool.
Yeah, she can't get enough of it. She is in love with Journey. She's even taken to draw art based on Journey.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's actually starting to draw the character and different scenarios and stuff like that. So it's really inspired her. And it's such a fantastic game. I mean, really, it affected a lot of people emotionally. So I think anybody really just needs to jump in. Right now, there's a lot of things in this world that are affecting people's emotions in the wrong way, and this game can really, really just kind of turn the page and make you think, like, oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. So just if you want something to change your emotions or if affect you in a different way right now, that's really a great place to go.
Super cool. Something else I wanted to mention that I didn't mention earlier, but on the Nintendo Indie thing, they announced Pixel Junk's Eden 2. And the first time I ever played Eden was at Jarrod's apartment on PS3, like whenever you came back to Oregon so many years ago. That game was just so kind of just very like chill, and another one of those games. It doesn't really move you in the same way Journey does, but it is a very chill and kind of interesting game. And the fact that and the fact that they're doing an exclusive to the Switch is just kind of this cool. Like, I never thought that would get a sequel, and it's kind of cool that it is. That's totally a day one purchase for me, I think. But
didn't they announce at the time console exclusive?
It might be. I didn't I only watched I didn't watch the indie thing. I just listened to the podcast talking about it, and no one mentioned that it was timed exclusive.
Which, speaking of Journey, I think one of the things that was still in the cards for this year on consoles, I think it was an indie thing that Nintendo had, but the new game by that game company that did Journey is Sky.
Oh, Sky. They talked about that on the indie Nintendo thing this too. Yeah. It's coming to... Yeah, totally.
So I'm excited for that, and I love their games.
Yeah. That's kind of a mix between Journey and Flower, basically, I think. I don't know. It's kind of...
Flower's another game I love. I've got 100% trophies on PS3, PS4 on one. Yeah, I love that company. There's a PC game they released. I had no idea that it was only on PC. It's called Cloud, I think.
Oh, interesting. No, I didn't know.
Yeah, you're like a character that controls a cloud. I don't know much about it, but I watched some quick video on it. It's really might be fun to just kind of check out.
Cool. Anything else you've been playing?
More No Man's Sky. I don't need to talk about that. I love that game. Almost 100 hours into that.
Bill's been talking about that shit.
Well, it's funny because when he mentioned it on the chat, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go play No Man's Sky. And so I jumped back in and it just couldn't stop. I don't know. Something about that game just keeps me coming back. It's so good.
Cool.
And I finally sat down the other night because I'm most of the time when I jump on Dreams, I just play random selection of things that are popular at that point. But
Yeah, it shows you. It shows you. It says Jarrod is dream surfing. So.
Yeah. But I finally decided to finish Art Stream, which is the one story bit that Media Molecule made, and I enjoyed it. I did. It was a good story. It had a little bit of depth to it, and they had a lot of different chips on his shoulder that were pretty much the gameplay. A lot of different really interesting characters and segments in the game that I really enjoyed. So I really wish more people would buy and play this. It's not that expensive, and it's worth every dime.
Right.
It really, I mean, I bought it early. Well, like the first day I could buy it, I did, because I knew this was going to be something special, and it really is. With people, even creative people right now, sitting indoors, having to stay inside, maybe not going to work. There's a lot of creative people, and this is a great outlet for anybody just to do whatever the hell they want, even just explore. Just explore. Make stuff. Do whatever. And it's so fascinating. It really is.
Yeah. Anything else?
So much. I don't know.
I don't know.
I buy too much crap, man. I have so many games.
All the games.
Like Friday, Animal Crossing showing up. It's already on its way.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, right? So I'm going to be playing that. My daughter and I can play together, I think, on the same island. Like, since we have one Switch, we'll both be building on the same island.
Cool.
Because Nintendo is fucking weird. You can't have your own save file. You can't upload it to the cloud or anything like that. But they're being super strict on like what you can and cannot do with your island. I don't know. Maybe they got used to people abusing like older consoles. Like, oh, I want it to be fall, so you just change your clock or something like that. I don't know. So we'll see. I mean, it looks really interesting. It's getting rave reviews. People are loving this Animal Crossing game. It's, I guess, the first mainline one in like over 10 years. You know, it's been a while. And I haven't played since GameCube, I think.
I've never played, so I don't even know. Is it like Stardew Valley or something?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna try and interest you in it. Yeah, it's I kind of like that. I mean, there's goals, but it's just kind of goals that you kind of go with. Like, you start out, you're camping, you set your tent where you want, you get to clean up the area, you get to pull weeds, you get to make the land look nice, you get to catch bugs, you get to go fishing, you get to complete, there's a museum and you can complete fossil collections and bug collections, all kinds of different stuff. They added so much in this, and I don't know how much time we'll spend on it together, but I have a feeling it's going to be a lot.
Cool. Seems like a good game for a father and daughter.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, even alone, I'm excited to just play it by myself. I don't give a shit. If I'm playing with my daughter or not, I'm just really excited about playing it.
Is there like a multiplayer component aside from that? Can you visit?
You can invite people to your island. You can have 8 people on the island at once. And they made, I guess in the past ones, it was a problem where people were being invited to the island, but they just started hacking it up, destroying stuff, and tearing out their gardens and stuff like that. But they added a mode where you can only use those specific tools if you're on the best friends list.
Interesting.
So they added a fail-safe for people that want to be friendly. So that's nice that they did that for the people that have been playing it for a long time and invite random people into their village to check it out and that kind of thing. So I think Nintendo's being really smart about it.
Okay. And that's coming this Friday? When you should have ordered Doom Eternal, but you didn't?
I want Doom Eternal so bad. But what really has me going on that, it's not even the reviews. I've always been excited about that. You've heard me talk about Doom Eternal.
Right.
And the soundtrack, they released a video recently just kind of going into how they went about recording pretty much their death metal choir.
Right.
That they're doing, and I'm so excited to hear that shit. It's going to be so cool. because I love the soundtrack to the Doom 2016. It's such a great soundtrack. Throughout the ages of Doom, that's one thing I've always loved when I'm playing the game is the music, and they really, really have the music figured out in these last two iterations, and I'm so excited just to play through that experience. It's like people are explaining Doom Eternal as like a chess game, pretty much. You really gotta figure out the puzzles of the environment and your enemies and health.
Which ones to attack first? Which ones to hold off? Which weapons? Yeah, go ahead.
Watching the pros play it makes me rethink, like, oh man, I was playing Doom 16 all wrong. Like, I was picked out the fodder first. I'm like, they just save them for when they need health or ammo. Just kind of corral them into one little zone and like, okay, I need some health. I'm going to murder this one. You know?
Right.
If I'm going to play Doom Eternal, I better recalibrate my thinking, because it's not just aim and shoot. You really got to think about your environment, what enemies are around you.
And now there's a lot of platforming now too, I hear. So it just gets nuts.
Yeah, so your brain is going to have to be active when you're playing Doom Eternal if you want to have some fun with that. And that's one thing that I really liked about Doom 16 is the fact that when you're on the battlefield fighting big groups of enemies, you're not standing in a corner like most Call of Duty, military shooter games. You just stand behind a box and you just pop in shots off every once in a while. That's not Doom. That's like you're in these enemies' faces, you're strafing the shit out of them, you're trying to get around them. You're trying every tactic you can to get your advantage in the battlefield. And you really memorize each one of those characters to see how they're going to react when you're close or far away. You're really wanting to figure out everything in that game. And Doom Eternal is adding new enemies to the mix, which have never been in a Doom game. Also, I think they're bringing a couple back, which I'm really excited about. Like, I can't remember their names. They're very similar to the Cacodemons that shoot the plasma balls at you, but these are the ones that shoot the lost souls out at you.
Right.
Which are the skulls that are on fire.
Right.
I used to know all these characters' names. I'm so bad at that now. But man, I don't have to get it. I just can't right now. I have so much crap to play. That is on the top of my list right now of games I need.
Right.
That's not just a one.
Let's see. I've been playing.
I've been playing other stuff, but yeah, you can move on to your pile. I'm sure your pile is massive.
We're already at 50 minutes, Jarrod. Surprisingly, we just.
Oh my God,
yeah, you just been talking in a storm here, so.
Sorry, man.
No, I'll get through it. I'll get through it really quick.
Okay.
I finished Grid. So I beat Grid finally. Just this past week. Good game, good racing car game. If you get it cheap, pick it up. It's a lot of fun. I've talked about it on past episodes, so you can have more of my opinions there. And then I picked up, I don't know why, but for PS3 I picked up Call of Duty Ghosts for $8. I said fuck it, I'll play it. Actually turned out to be my favorite story campaign, I think. It's kind of weirdly, it does, like Jarrod says, you can just hide in the corner and shoot guys, but it has you do a lot of things that are kind of like a lot of like, wow, this is really movie action shit going on, and it has the story has this crazy ending that I won't spoil, but doesn't really matter because I don't think we'll ever get the sequel to it, which kind of sucks. But no, I really enjoyed it, and it's funny too because that was on PS3 and PS4, and I'm playing the PS3 version. It looks really good on PS3.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean,
end of generation game for it.
Yeah. So it looks really good. Having played some, I played Batman Arkham Asylum on the PS4, which is up-resed, and that looks good. But this actually looks better than that, which is interesting. At least I feel like it does. But but the game also is just stupid in a lot of the stuff it does. Like you have this dog and the dog attacks. And all these, it's all very weird Call of Duty BS. And but I enjoyed it. I beat that. It was fun.
Is that the thing that started the kickoff of, but could I pet the dog?
I don't know. Because I can't actually pet the dog ever. But you pet the dog a lot in the game, but I can't actually pet the dog. I can have the dog kill somebody. It's just funny.
It was one of the games that started that whole movement. Like, anytime a game has a dog in it, people all over Twitter are like, but can I pet the dog?
Well, there's a Twitter account called Pet the Dog or Can I Pet the Dog? And he just lists the games you can pet a dog in. Anyway, so I beat those 2 games, and then I've been playing, obviously, some Fortnite, like I mentioned earlier. But the game I do want to kind of talk about that I kind of missed when it came out, but I've been playing it on my PC. It's a Devolver Digital indie game. I've been playing that game, Ruiner, the cyberpunk isometric kind of arcade shooter, but it's kind of not all just an isometric shooter. It kind of has some RPG, kind of travel around the town and ask questions. The style is really cool. It's pretty fluid and it's difficult, but I'm playing it on super easy, so it's easy even though it's kind of hard.
Is it twin?
Yeah, it's kind of twin sticks.
Okay.
But RPG-ish, but then not. It's just got a lot of things. It's only about, I don't know, I would say I'm probably a couple hours in. I think it's only about 6 hours long, so... But I'm really enjoying it. It's kind of edgy, and it's kind of feeling that cyberpunk vibe right now, because I'm really jonesing for cyberpunk right now. And it's pretty cool. I actually really enjoy it. I don't know why it kind of maybe has some issues later on. I don't know. It came. I remember it coming out, and then no one really caring about it. And so I thought, fuck, well, I want to play it. So I started playing it on my PC, and so far, I'm about, I don't know how many levels I'm in, but I've been playing it for like 2.5 hours maybe, and I really like it. So I'll probably finish that off this weekend and add another game I beat to my list. But those are basically the games I've been playing. I recommend it. I think people should check it out. I really dig it. So Ruiner.
So yeah, that does sound pretty cool. But I for some reason I forgot that I've been playing Control.
Oh shit! Yeah, what? Yeah, because I know Dave's not on the episode, but Dave beat that game. Man, Control, Jarrod.
So I hit a point where it was a little more difficult than I anticipated.
Oh really? Yeah, it can get hard if you're not prepared.
Yeah, but now I'm prepared, so I'm kicking a lot of ass. But I really didn't expect certain parts of it to be that challenging. But,
we shouldn't talk about this too much, because I would like to have you and Dave. Okay, I would like you and Dave and us. I would like to have a big conversation about it at some point, especially if you beat it. But go ahead.
The only thing I want to point out is that Christian Spicer is right.
That is the game of the year, the greatest game of all time.
No, it's not that. It's that don't even waste your time looking at the map. I've looked at the map once, and I'm like, no.
Jarrod, supposedly just before that new DLC drops towards the end of this month, they're revamping the map. That's what I wanted to tell you about that. I also wanted to tell Dave, but then he beat it. But they're revamping the map in a patch.
Well, it's in desperate need of it.
Yeah, the map is...
I looked at it. Well, actually, when I first started playing the game, I took Christian Spicer's advice just to use the environment. There's starting to point everywhere. So
it does work really well. It does. This game's...
So I did.
Yeah.
And, then the last time I played, I'm like, oh, I forgot where this part is. You get a side mission or something like that.
Right.
I looked at the map, I'm like, no, I'm not going to use this.
It's like a third-person Metroidvania. You're basically in the same area. You go somewhere, you get a power, you go somewhere else with the power, you go up. It's kind of that same... If you think of a Metroidvania where you're just kind of going somewhere, but you come back to the other area with a new power, it's basically kind of how Control works. But but isn't how fun it is just being that character, and I don't know.
Yeah, so So far, I'm enjoying it.
And the style of it's really kind of, and when the signage pops up, I don't know. I really enjoyed that game. I hope you guys do too.
That's great. That's great so far. Yeah,
Cool.
I think Dave likes it. We'll talk to him in a week or two.
Yeah, we should do a bigger deep dive into that game. But anyway, that's all I've really been playing. And then hopefully I'll play Final Fantasy 15. Oh, you know what? That's not true. Whew, let's reel it back a little bit. I've been playing a lot of Metal Gear Survive, which we haven't talked about.
Yeah.
We should probably talk about that really quick. The game I was kind of loathing and despising, having no interest in. It's like, nah, never. That's a betrayal to my man Kojima. Never gonna do it. Never. And then it was $9, and I was like, oh, I'll try it. And then I finally pulled the trigger. I really like it. It's stupid. It's so stupid, but I kind of really enjoy it. I mean, it's just like any other survival game for the most part. Survival, and then you deal with hordes, so you have to set up with. I mean, for the most part, you can just go out and survive. But then when you want to, oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I played the beta, and it was exactly what you were talking about.
They're just in the story, because I'm playing the story single player mode right now, and you have to progress. Then you have to do these horde missions where the hordes attack you, but you have to build so it becomes kind of a base protecting, fight off the hordes type of thing.
Yeah.
And which is fine. I have no problem with that, but it's just an interesting game. It's still very Japanese. There's still a lot of Metal Gear stuff going on in it, which is crazy and interesting. And I like it way more than I thought I would. So definitely worth the $9. And I've probably already put like 20 hours into it. And yeah. And I get to be a kind of half-naked chick running around in the desert. Or hell, or whatever they call the place. Anyway. I love video games.
That's awesome. So I knew, I'm switching topics since we're just about to close things out. But
yeah.
I knew a couple of interesting games were coming to Epic Games Store free starting tomorrow on the 19th of March.
Yes.
What I've been really curious about is the Stanley Parable.
Yes.
I'm really curious about that one, and also Watch Dogs is free. So are you going to download that and mod it?
Probably not. I mean, I have Watch Dogs on PS4, and I tried to play it. I played it the first time. I tried to play it the first time for like a couple hours, and I bailed. And I tried to play it again, and I really tried to play it again. Like, I put like 4 or 5 hours into it. And I cannot stand that lead character. And I don't know if modding is even worth it because I just don't care. Like, I love Watch Dogs 2. Like, Watch Dogs 2 is a great game. But Watch Dogs 1... I forgot
that Watch Dogs 2 was the one you really liked.
Watch Dogs 1, I just can't get into it. And that first... I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying other people shouldn't play it. It's an open world game with open world stuff, and maybe it would work for them. But for me, it just doesn't work for me, and I just can't get into it.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, I probably won't try it because, I just got a new laptop. It'll probably run fine, but...
Probably. Oh, you should totally try Ruiner, Jared. That'll run on it. Didn't you grab that? That was free on Epic. That's where I'm playing it on. I'm playing off the Epic Store. Did you grab it?
I don't know.
Oh, well, hopefully you did, because if you did, I 100% recommend it. It's you like those twin stick shooters, but this is kind of more story based, and you should just put on easy if it gets too hard. But anyway, yeah. It was like a couple nights ago before I started it. I was just like scrolling through my Epic Game Store library. It's like, God damn, this library is massive, and I have not bought a single game. These are just all games I have. It's like, I should probably start playing one of these, and so that's why I picked Ruiner, and I was like, I'm gonna play Ruiner. So, anyway, too many games.
I'm trying to look at my Epic Games library, but that CAPTCHA stuff is really
right.
It's on here. Yeah, but it's all good. It's all good.
Well, is there anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
No, it's just buy dreams. Get dreams.
Buy dreams. I want to buy dreams, but part of me is like, maybe I'll buy dreams on PS5. I don't know.
Yeah, it's affordable.
I'm not sure. So I think this is episode 197.
Okay.
I'm not sure how. We only have 3 more till 200. I don't want 200 to be on the computer, but we might do a few more of these where we record, self-distancing.
Yeah.
But it works pretty well. It is what it is. People understand. They want their content. I don't know. You people that have been listening have been hammering us the last couple weeks, man. Our listener number, our downloads has just gone through the roof for some reason. So people are bored and looking for podcasts. So one of the reasons I wanted to record tonight, make sure we recorded something. So thank you for downloading. Means a lot.
Well, so yeah, with the coronavirus thing, I'm a delivery driver. I deliver stuff, so I'm stuck working. I don't get the work from home option, but somebody I know gets to work from home.
Yeah, for the most part, I got the okay to work from home. Occasionally, there might be situations where I have to go in and videotape something, but all the graphics work and any editing that I come across, I get to do from home. So, yes,
Good.
It's nice.
Good. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy for you. That's great.
But you be safe, Jarrod. I mean, you're truck drivers. You're kind of solo for the most part. You just got to be.
Yeah, but I have to go in the back rooms of the grocery stores, and people have been very brutal to these grocery stores. But, it's really getting on them. So that's my advice to you, the listener, is give retail a break.
Yeah.
If they're out of something, be like, okay, cool. It's not their fault.
Right.
They can only do what they do. Hey, they get a truck, and what you want disappears in an hour, even with restrictions. It's just how it is right now. Just give them a break.
Sometimes supply cannot meet demand, and that is just a fact of life.
Well, here's an example. A full trailer of Costco toilet paper will show up at a Costco at 7 in the morning, and then they open at 8 or 9.
It'll be gone.
And within 2.5 hours, with a limit of 2, it's purely gone, and people are raging.
And they may not stock that for another couple days, right?
That's right. And also, if the company didn't ship them the right size of water, and you get angry and yell at a retail client for not having a smaller bottle that you wanted, you are absolutely wrong. Wrong.
This is
you're ruining that person's day. He's going to be thinking about that for a week because you got mad that you didn't get the smaller bottle of water.
I think most of the majority of people feel your pain, Jarrod. It's only the minority of people, the assholes in the world, they're the ones that the same minority that believes this is a hoax and it doesn't matter. And anyway, I digress.
Yeah, it's true because I deliver liquor, and higher alcohol stuff is flying off the shelves. People are washing their hands with Everclear, dude. People are washing their hands with Everclear as their sanitizer.
Oh, they're weird. Anyway.
And that shit's expensive. I mean, is it really that much cheaper than buying it online
right?
from them, dude? I don't know.
Bad. I don't know.
Luckily, I'm not in that situation. But it sucks that who is in that situation. I'm looking at 2 packs of toilet paper that we bought like a month ago. I don't have to worry about that.
Right.
But there's a lot of people in bad situations, and I hope everybody deals with it in a nice, friendly manner to whoever or whatever store they choose, because there's hoarders, and it's a big problem.
Let's be positive. Let's end this on a positive note. Hey, you listeners, if you want, send us the games you're playing. while you're self-distancing. Tell us what games you're enjoying at Couch Co-op Shows. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and just let us know what you're playing, what you're doing, and don't be, like Jarrod said, don't be hard on your retailers.
Yeah, and I am kind of curious. Like, I never hear from anybody else that plays games with like their kids or anything like that. Like, I had that fun story about Journey. I never hear stories like that from other people. It'd be kind of cool to hear fun stories. You playing with your kids. I'm not the only parent.
Oh, exactly. I mean, your kid's on like a forever spring break right now, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh.
I don't know. It'd be kind of cool. You have the Twitter handle handy.
Yeah, it's at Couch Co-op Shows, all one word, no hyphen. That's Twitter. That's the same handle on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So, at Couch Co-op Shows. So, you can just hit us up, and
Have fun.
Yeah. Anyway, let's wrap this up. I want to thank you all for listening and remind you that you can leave feedback again on Twitbook, Instaface, and Gramter at Couch Co-op Shows, all one word, no hyphen. Remember to please subscribe, share, and maybe leave us an iTunes review on iTunes, because that would be awesome and help us out. And I just want to thank Jarrod for joining me tonight on the show.
Yeah, of course. Glad we could do this together. We're doing it on Discord. We've never recorded over the phone, so this is a new thing. And I hope the audio quality is okay.
It's good enough, and it's it's old school episode. Jarrod and I just back like episode 1 style.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Finding the love. Anyway, for Couch Co-op, I'm Ian, and please be excellent to each other. Don't be a dick. I understand that shit's getting hard out there, but just love your neighbor. We'll get through this, and we'll talk to you next time. Peace.
You did.